Okay, good evening. My name is Isaac Olumoguje, your IELTS guru from Olinks Academy. And this evening, I'm going to be sharing the things, the tips and strategy that you will need to effectively score a 9 in IELTS, because that's the projection we have and that's the target we have for most of our students, especially those who would like to migrate abroad. Okay, this evening in particular, I'm going to be talking about the IELTS listening. Okay, for those of us who have not written the exam before, I have done a previous video about the general structure of the IELTS test for both those doing for the academic and those doing for the general. Okay, now I will have to transit to my slide to start today's lecture. Okay, so just follow me as I start today. Okay, the listening, okay, just like I said in the previous lecture, the listening is a very complicated part of IELTS. It's straightforward, but you need to get it to be able to pass. But experience has shown that it's one of the easiest area to score a 9. Yes, if you pay serious attention to it. Okay, uh, I will be discussing the IELTS listening under three headers. I will be talking about the general rules, that is the things you need to imbibe to be able to have a good grasp to master the IELTS listening, and also be discussing the question types. Then I will be talking about the strategy for handling maps, diagram, and charts. Okay, because this is one of the areas that people actually feel the most in IELTS: the maps, the diagrams, the charts. Okay, so now I'll be going to the general rule, which is the first thing that you need to imbibe. This general rule is what I normally give students who have a very short period of time to practice. It's something that once you start using them, you will start seeing results. Okay, under the general rules, I'm saying that the general rules apply to all aspects of the IELTS. Okay, that is the IELTS listening. These rules are about things you need to figure out before the audio starts. Okay, there are things you need to get and understand before the audio starts speaking. Okay, because once the audio starts, you should be absolutely set to start inserting your answers. Okay, number one general rule is read and understand the instruction given. Some instruction will read, write no more than 2 words or a number. The emphasis will be bolding, so you need to pay attention to that part. So if you are required to write no more than 2 words, then you should not write more than 2 words. For example, the housing officer takes some details from the girl. Complete the following form with no more than 3 words and or a number for each answer. In this case, you must not write more than 3 words or a number. The number can be written in words or number. When written in words, you can have 4 words, yes, and or. The number is still regarded as a number, whether written in words or a number. Okay, these general rules are very, very simple, but you need to just pay attention. Okay, so the second general rule now is read and understand the topic. Most of the time, the topic will be given before the start of the audio. So you need to pay attention to the topic so as to narrow your mind down. to what is going to be discussed. The listening is sectioned into four broad sections: question 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40. But under each section, you have subsection. You might be required to answer question 1 to 4 first. So, question 1 to 4 might be talking about general inquiry, about lodging or accommodation into an hotel. Question 5 to 10 might be discussing other things like general details of the hotel. So you need to pay attention to the topic. Please, you need to pay attention to the topic. Why? Because these help you to properly understand and narrow your mind down to what you need to do. You will be able to narrow your mind down to the particular topic so that you can focus. For example, a Japanese girl and an housing officer are talking about a homestay family. Okay, immediately you are able to read and understand the question, the topic. Also read and understand the instruction. Okay, you need to now start preparing your mind. Okay, one of the things I put hidden under those things is preempt the question. So the audio you are expecting will be about an inquiry or a discussion between a Japanese girl and an housing officer. Based on the example I gave, she is discussing about her need for homestay family with a housing officer. Okay, so that is that. So I'm going to show you an example of how the question is structured. Look at it. The personal details. You will have this in front of you before the audio starts. So that's why I say you need to read the instruction, the topic, understand it. Look at on here, you will have personal details for homestay application. Okay, you can see that here you will need to fill this form. The first name is blank, the family name has been filled, the gender, the age has been filled, then the passport. Okay, so I'm still going to come into that now. So the number 3 thing you need to do is understand the question layout or format, and I have bolded it. Pay attention to the question type of format. Okay, if I could take you back to this now, when you understand the question format, you know that in question 1, you are expecting the name, the first name of the Japanese student. Okay, and in question 2, you are expecting the passport number. Question 3, you will be expecting to hear the course she's enrolling for. And question 4, the length of the course. Question 5, the time she'll be spending at the homestay. Okay, so if you understand the question layout, once the audio starts, you won't be fidgeting or you won't just be guessing. You need to be sure of the answers you want to supply, because the missing part is what you are particularly looking for here. So in some cases, I will be treating the question type soon. So you need to understand the question layout. Immediately you understand the question layout, you know what to expect. There will be no surprises. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So after the question layout, you need to have 2 questions in sight or mind. Okay, why? First reason is this. At the initial stage, there might be lengthy discussion. And for you to be sure that, okay, the discussion has not gotten past question 1, your mind should be on question 2, because the audio are always in sequence of the question, or sorry, the question in sequence of the audio. So with this, if there is a lengthy discussion, you might be tempted to think that yes, the audio recording or speaking might have gotten past question one, but when your eyes is on question one and two, you'll be able to know that, oh no, question one has not been answered, so the person hasn't, or the audio hasn't gotten to question two. Okay, now the other reason why you need it is that when you get to the latter part, from the question 20s to the 30s, the audios pick pace and become faster. And sometimes two questions can be spaced within 5 seconds. It means when you are busy writing down the answer to question 25, question 26 might be answered. So you need to have two questions in sight at the same time. As you are writing answer to question 25, be on the lookout for the answer for question 26. Okay, and the last part here is focus. Nothing tests your attention in all this exam like listening. 5 seconds distraction can get you off track. And if you panic, you might just lose it from that point. So I have stated 5 general rules. The first 2, that the normal thing you do in the exam. On instruction. Number 2, the topic. Number 3, question format and layout. That is very, very crucial. And number 4, it is having 2 questions in sight. Number 5 is focus. As a matter of fact, for those who come to physical class, I normally conduct attention tests for the students. Because one thing is about this, all the rules I've given to you centers on paying serious and adequate attention. Okay, so now I have concluded the general rule, which are 5. I will now be moving to the question types. Okay, question type. I said it earlier, I was going to be teaching this listening under 3 headers. The general rule, then after that the question types, then strategy for handling diagram, maps and charts. Okay, now the question type. Okay, number 1, which I label here, is the multiple choice question. Okay, in this question types, you have your question, sorry for the typo, and you are provided with option A, B, C. E.g., choose the correct letter A, B, or C. Question: what is the type of insurance chosen? Possibly discussion is going on about the insurance policy available in a particular company, and someone is making an inquiry about it. Standard, premium, or economy. Okay, so you will have to make a choice. One thing, the peculiarities about multiple choice questions is that there will be discussion around all the options. So you need to pay critical attention to the question and listen properly. If it happens in the 20s and 30s, that is when you get to question 20 to 30s, you have some additional challenges. The pace of the audio is faster at this point. The question most time is now in long sentence. Yes, and options also in long phrases or sentence. So you need to listen properly. Multiple choice questions are tricky because you are listening and they will discuss all the options in a very subtle way that you will be confused sometimes on which is the answer to the question. Okay, so and when the pace peak at the latter part, it could be troublesome. You have longer sentence, longer options to contend with. Okay, now example of long multiple question. Can you see question 24? Is chronic pain different from pain we feel when we knock our knee? Okay, A, it's a sentence. In the initial part, it's just a word or three word option, three words that will form option A, option B, option C. So it's quite easier. Question is longer and the options are also longer. Okay. Now, the second question type is sentence completion. So on your worksheet, a part of the statement or some of the statements have been omitted. So you need to listen out for the statement and pay attention to when the omitted part will be mentioned. Okay, like this, what we have here is studying at the university demand a great deal of dash. So you have to check the passage or listen out, sorry. Studying and working at the same time improve Rachel's dash. Okay, so you have to fill in the gap according to what you are being given in the audio. One thing you need to look out for is be on the lookout for synonyms. For example, in the sentence completion, the actual statement you heard from the audio might be slightly different because they use synonyms in the audio. Okay, a great deal of can now be a lot of in the audio. So you need to know when some certain words are changed to synonyms so that you won't miss the part that you are waiting to hear. Okay. The answers, however, is the exact word you heard that you need to write in the blank space. Okay. Now we have the matching task question type. In the matching task question type, okay, you can see what you have in front of me. Question 24 to 30, what problem do speakers identify for this project? Okay, on the right hand side is the question. Background sound is answers of question dash. One of the questions dash, time of answering. On this side are the problems, the left hand side, A to H, which you will need to match with questions 25 to 30. So discussion will go on as to whether the background noise sound is too noisy, okay, or the answer to the question is too unreliable. So discussions will go on and you keeping or matching the options that is appropriate to each of the question. One of the things you also need to look out for here are synonyms. The audio can say too vague as too not too clear. So you need to look out for synonyms here too. Okay, you have two tasks: listen to the audio, skim through the choice to pick. It means your eyes will keep roaming around the options to properly match to the question. Okay, so those are the things you need to note. Okay. Okay. I said skim through the choice to pick your answer. You need to practice to master and to be accurate. Okay, this part could be cumbersome when you are starting off. It could be actually cumbersome. So you need to try to master it properly. Okay, now let's go to the next question type, the short answer question. This is more like a sentence completion. However, most times it is not between statements. It's just a direct question that you need to give a direct answer. So it's specific questions about audio and you write down. It's not a common type but comes out once a while. For example, question 1 and 2 below, write no more than 3 words, 3 words or a number for each. Okay, what 2 factors can make social contact in foreign country difficult? Okay, so the passage will have told you, sorry, the audio recording will tell you things like, okay, there are 2 factors or 2 key things responsible for that make social contact hard, unbearable in foreign land. Okay, so you have to put the answer if they're going to mention, okay, maybe language barrier, cultural differences. So I'm just guessing the answer. Okay, things to note: read the questions, instruction, and question before audio starts. Don't panic. It could be as clumsy as matching answer, but it could be the summary point of discussion. What do I mean? 2 things might have been discussed at length, but the summary point of those 2 things might be what you need to put most times. So you need to pay attention. So it means that if it's summary point, you need to understand the context of the discussion. Okay, short answer task. If you miss a part, please don't dwell on it. Move on so you won't miss much. Concentrate, concentrate. Okay, things to note while filling the blank. Number of words according to the instruction. Okay, you lose mark for writing more than the stipulated mark. You need to get your spellings right. Okay, a lot of students, after practicing, knowing the techniques, get their spellings wrong. Verb agreement, singular noun versus singular verb. Okay, the doctor is treating her for cancer. Correct? The doctors are treating her. The doctor is treating her for cancer. Those 3 statements are correct depending on the context. You can't say the doctors is still treating her. So you need to master your verb agreement. Singular and plural. Master them. He bought 6 oranges. He bought 6 oranges. It is actually 6 oranges. Pronoun agreement. So these are the things you need to particularly pay attention to. So let me now go into the other question type, which is the diagram labeling. Okay, in the audio, there will be descriptions of diagram or map or chart or plan. Okay, and in your worksheet, you're going to see the charts, the plan. Okay, this question often tests your ability to understand the description of any item, airplane, house floor plan, and also test your ability to follow instruction. Okay, this is an example of a map or a plan. Okay, you can see here, I'm just bolding it. Some specific space are left: 11 to be filled, 12, 13, 14, 15. And you have a list of options at the right hand side. These are example of maps, diagram. This is another one. Can you see? Write no more than 2 words. Look at some vacant spots here: 15, 16, 17. Okay, now I will be talking about the strategy for tackling labeling maps. I have discussed 2 things, 2 general topics: the general rule, the question types, the strategy for tackling labeling. Okay, so now labeling is a very tricky part for some students, and I've seen students come back after exam saying I didn't attend attempt the map, the diagram, because it was so confusing. Okay, what you need to do, study and understand the topic or title. This will give you a guide on what would the audio. So you need to be prepared. Topic or title, check. It will be on your worksheet, and most of the time when the audio starts, it's going to tell you the topic. Look for an entrance. Look for possible entrance. For example, this one that I showed previously has an entry point here. Okay, you need to know, because that might be the start of discussion, the point where the discussion will start. Okay, look for an entrance, a possible entrance. Some entrance will be vivid, some will not be vivid. Okay, now the second option, the third option, rule and strategy. Check out for legend or key. Legend or key often highlight key important features of a map. Okay, the legend might indicate that this symbol represents grass area. This symbol represents railway station. Okay, so those are the check out for the legend. This highlight major landmark in the place or in the diagram. Okay, then the fourth one is check the labeled area in relation to the question. That is, for example, here, the labeled area is the library desk. So if you look at question 11, omitted question 12, library office, because it will help you to understand how the questions, the omitted part of a diagram, will be filled. Okay, so you can see 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you need to check the label area so that you will know how to tackle the missing part in relation to the label area. Okay, then look out for starting points. In some cases, you won't have an entrance. In some cases, you will have just the starting point. Sometimes the starting point looks like this. Look at this. You are here. Possibly the person who is going to relay the audio before the questions can be answered is telling you that this is the possible starting point. No entrance was indicated here. So that is what you need to pay attention to at every time. And the last part is check for orientation guide. Okay, this is a sample orientation guide. Okay, if you have this, the listen to ear directional, sorry for the mix up. If you have a symbol like this, it means that you will be listening to hear instruction of direction like north, south, east, west. But if you don't have this, the other option is you'll be hearing to your right, to your left, adjacent, opposite. But when there is a map, sorry, when there is a directional sign like this orientation guide, okay, what you will be on the lookout for is the description of north, south, east, northwest, things like that. But if there is none, what you will be on the lookout for, you should be on the lookout for is left, right, up, down, behind, adjacent, opposite. Okay, so I have come to the end of this painstaking IELTS strategy for overcoming listening. I have used it over and over for students. My students have been scoring 8, 8.5, and 9. You could just painstakingly check it out and follow the plan and procedure I've laid out for you. I assure you, if you painstakingly follow it, you will get the required result. Thank you so much. I am again Isaac Olumoguje from Olinks Academy. Till I come your way next time, which is very, very soon, I'll be coming with the reading strategy. I am your IELTS guru, Isaac Olumoguje from Olinks Academy. So I have ended my slide. Next lecture, I will be going into full details on reading. So stay with me, always join me as I take you on your destination, on your journey to your dreamland, Canada, Australia, or studying abroad. Thanks and welcome.